Alright, so today you guys are going to be helping me out by writing a letter to the students that will be taking this class next year. So this video applies to both seniors and juniors, so just be thinking about the people that are going to be coming into your class. So seniors, you're thinking about the current juniors, and juniors, you are thinking about the current sophomores. So, here's the situation. Think of yourselves as scouts in this terrain called AP English. It's a foreign land to the present year-behinders, and they'll understandably be nervous on the first day of school, especially if you've never met me. A guy as mean as I am makes a lot of people nervous. So your job is to give them a sense of what this class is going to be like, and in particular, me as a teacher. And then also include things about just the year in general. What's junior year like? What's senior year like? By now, you know my expectations, my strengths, my weaknesses, my quirks, my overall demeanor. So share that. It's okay to write criticism, as long as it's constructive and fair and polite. I know that I'm flawed, so I don't mind reading the honest, polite criticism there. And I will be reading these, just so you know. So, but be balanced and open-minded and maybe a little bit compassionate. Both to me and to those students. Remember that once you stood at the threshold for the first time of that door, and I know I've made more than just a couple of you cry. So, just kidding. Most of that's on the volleyball court. I hardly ever make anyone cry in English class. So you'll have the whole class to brainstorm, discuss, and draft ideas for your letter, and then you'll go home and type it up in Google Drive. So remember, I will read your advice, but I won't be grading it. I'll just check it off in the gradebook. So, write from the heart. Be honest about this. I think this could be really helpful for the students coming in. If you think about how you start the beginning of the year, you probably would have appreciated having these letters. So, here's some things to put in there. Definitely some sort of greeting. It is a letter after all. Think of some fun things that took place this year. There's got to be at least one, right? Maybe it wasn't even something I did or designed, but something about the class that happened by accident that was fun. Talk about just how I run my classroom a little bit. Just the things that are worth mentioning, not the stuff that's like everyone else. Like, the teacher actually expects you to sit in desks. Maybe don't put that. Things that they'll learn that they didn't know. Things that they'll go over that they may have already known. Talk about the writing. What kinds of writing do you do? How much of it? Do you like it? How hard is it? Is it interesting? Same thing with the reading. Is it interesting? What types do you do? What's your opinion of it? How much of it is there? How hard is it? How interesting is it? Talk about homework. What my expectations are for homework. Talk about the books you've read, especially the ones that you've chosen. I don't know all those books. So talk about some of those, especially if you found one that you really liked. Make some recommendations. Talk about all the talking and listening you guys do. The group discussions, the whole class discussions, if we've done Socratic seminars or fishbowls. Talk about my quizzes and tests and AP practice and the exam. What can they expect? How can they prepare? And then other things from me. What should they expect from me? My habits, things I do or say, my teaching style, how helpful or unhelpful I am, how clear or unclear, strict, things that annoy me. Save them some of the trouble and pain and embarrassment from having to learn this on their own. And then some advice on what you learned the hard way, and any other parting words of wisdom for someone beginning to the ascent to greatness that happens in my class. Now this is geared toward my class, but also feel free to include things that are generally applicable to the year. Seniors, for those incoming seniors, I'm sure they'd really appreciate some advice on balancing all the activities, paying for all the activities. Juniors, it's a big year to try to juggle everything and keep your grades up, so give some advice there. But in general, just think of yourself as kind of we talked about scout, maybe mentor is another good way of thinking about it. So that's your job today, and I look forward to seeing those in Google Drive. The original plan was by tonight, but maybe I'll give you an extra day. So go ahead and pause the video here and leave this list up on the screen.